This is the Can We Talk podcast, episode 9. I have my co-host, Raven Brown.
Hey. Hello.
And Brittany Hill.
Hey.
And I just want to jump into this topic because what are you showing me?
No. Ask us how our week has been before you jump into the topic.
Yeah. Or you gonna be on us food again. Better ask how we doing.
I had to slow you down before you move too fast.
No, you should have.
So the flow of conversation, I want to let everyone know the flow of conversation doesn't always allow us to just say that originally. But how are you guys doing?
I'm actually doing good. So I have some good news. I had an interview, I had an interview this week for Amazon's marketing and recruiting team.
That's the wrong
all about
shit.
them Benjamins, baby.
Coins. Sense.
Yeah.
That just makes me feel good when the claps happen. And I got the last and final interview, so I have to go in and meet them face to face. The second interview I wasn't feeling too comfortable about, but me and her, I even told her, I was like, I'm a little bit nervous, I just haven't. No, it's weird being on the other side of the spectrum, being the interviewee. But she was like, don't worry, I get nervous and stuff. I was really nervous that they weren't going to contact me again, but she did, and I just think I'm moving in the right direction, and I kind of manifested this. I have it in my journal, so I'm feeling really good about it. So all prayers are needed, because hopefully this opportunity is what I think that it is, and I feel it. So yay.
Congratulations. Yay for you. Good luck with the rest of the process.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
And how are you? How are you, Britt?
I'm good. It's been a busy week, I feel. It's been a busy week. My son's birthday, he turned 17, was on Monday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. So we had that. I had one of my friends coming in town from Dallas, so we hung out with him for the past 3 days. So shout out to Big Bruce and the squad. So we kind of linked up. So been hanging out with friends. But it's been great energy. Work's good. Family's good. It's been a good week. Ran into Raven in the streets this past weekend. I was out in the streets, ran into Raven. That was good times.
It was fun. It was fun.
Fun. But yeah, so it's been good.
Pretty sure you're in a picture somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere floating out there. We're in some pictures. We made some Tiffany and I made some cameos and some pictures. But yeah,
Awesome.
it was good time. So it's been good. How about you, Calvin?
I mean, good. I think that I talked about some things last episode, but I'm perfectly fine. I'm good now. Like when you get to the point where you actually get to see the plan and it's coming together, I'm there now.
Yeah,
and I know exactly what's next, and I'm ready for it.
Oh, that's good.
Nice.
Yay. Good to hear that.
So without you guys being, ready for how you guys are doing, jumping down my throat.
Because you always say that you like to start a podcast asking us how we're doing. So I didn't want to skip it. It does help. It's a very good starting point. It's a good starting point. Like Raven got to share some good stuff. Sometimes we're not feeling the best, so I feel like it's always a good starting point. I just and you never know where somebody is. We definitely want to acknowledge if somebody's even just feeling low. So I just like to hit that.
Yeah, for sure. And so
Hit that like that coochie.
like the what?
That word, that coochie.
Spell coochie without looking at the screen.
COOCHIE, coochie. Man, I was never good at spelling bees, but
you
know how to spell coochie.
All right.
Sound it out.
Coochie, the coochie, the coochie, the coochie.
You put that in a song.
There's probably a song already out there. So the first topic of episode 9 is a guy wrong for getting coochie elsewhere during the talking stage. And what does the talking stage even look like? Like what is the talking stage?
For me, it's just like when we first meet
When you first meet?
We're first meeting, we're talking, we're getting to know each other. We are, we're dating, we're not exclusive unless we say, we're not exclusive in the talking stage, because it's just like, we're just talking, we're getting to know each other. Like talking is getting to know each other. So I don't think it's necessarily wrong that, especially if you haven't established those boundaries or said, hey, I want to be exclusive with you or whatever. Or
what does that sound like? Don't you sound wild being older? Like, do you want to be my girlfriend or boyfriend?
I don't think you have to say it like that.
No, I just be like, look, I am not ready for a relationship right now. I'm still trying to figure things out.
What we doing? That's what I'm like, what's going on? What we doing?
I tell them straight up right when I meet them, look, I ain't looking for a relationship. I just want to just be straightforward with you. I'm just trying to figure things out for myself, and I really just don't want anyone to destroy my peace. That's exactly what I tell them each time. So I don't think that they're wrong for getting it elsewhere. I think sometimes we do have those jealous tendencies where if we see somebody and we're like,
who's we? Who's we?
Me and my 5 personalities.
Because
baby,
a lot of times on this podcast, a lot of times,
don't you start there.
A lot of times,
let me see where we going with this.
A lot of times, a lot of times we get the perspective of women, right? So, and in that situation, right, what is that?
I'm a man.
You gotta chill. So, like, what does that look like? From your perspective thing, because this is a guy question, right? I already know the answer. The answer for me is always going to be, don't worry about it. Don't worry about what I'm doing.
That means you're getting coochie.
That's
typically. I can't say all the time, but generally, if you don't, usually when someone doesn't
wipe your mirror, wipe your screen. I look blurry as fuck.
You weren't even there. It was like no faces, no cases. Like literally, the light was popping on your head. Not that he's calling my screen dirty. Don't call me out like that.
You had to make sure mine was good.
Okay. Like nobody needs to know how I live. They don't need to know this lifestyle.
So you guys really think it's? I mean, it's okay. Like it's perfectly fine. Like if you guys are in the talking stage and someone's actually giving something else physically to someone else, it's perfectly fine. But if you guys are talking long enough to where it's like, all right, my God, like what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's just, grown folks. I mean, we're all old enough to have a conversation. So if you feel like, okay, it's time, like you've talked a while, I feel like at the beginning when you're first talking, 9 times out of 10, this person, you're not the only person that they've met. They've probably been talking to somebody before you, that's understandable. As y'all are getting closer,
being exclusive.
As y'all are dating, spending more time together, like you're naturally going to want to know, okay, what are we doing? So then
how long does that take for you to figure that out?
So, do you want the definition of talking stage?
Yes.
Well, you Googled it?
Yeah.
What does Google say?
What is the talking stage? Talking stage is a period where 2 people who have expressed a mutual romantic interest in each other get to know each other on a level deeper than a friendship to help them decide the next step.
You said exclusive?
It doesn't say anything about exclusivity.
Yeah, just getting to know each other. So you're getting to know each other. 5 to 6 weeks is the... they said the average talking stage.
That's it?
No, we gotta go 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah, can you cheat in the talking stage? No, unless you made an agreement with each other to be monogamous during the talking phase, which would be a little strange. Bearing such an agreement, there's no such thing as being.
You don't even know if you like this person during the talking stage.
Should there be contracts at that stage?
No, not during the talking stage.
No, you don't even know if you like somebody at the talking stage. But yes, it's a conversation, like you're getting to know them. And I think it's different for you asked how long is the talking stage. I think it's different for each person, because I think it also depends on how much time y'all are spending together. Yeah. If 2 people are working, both
it's
busy.
Like one weekend,
and maybe
next weekend.
Maybe this next weekend I'm busy. I got this to do, and then
this ends up being 10 months. But you guys already really truly kicked it for
right. Like you're getting to know this person too. Like during the talking stage, like you're getting to know this person, and if they're crazy, some of them are. I'm not gonna say their names. Crazy. Okay, I'm not crazy.
And then when they're crazy,
just expressive.
When you come across crazy,
I'm just theatrical.
When you come across crazy, just trust your gut. Just trust your gut.
Get the hell
Don't be
out
thinking
of there.
like, is it me? Did it trust your gut? because you're gonna end up in a worse situation.
Good. Get out of there.
But yeah, so yeah, I think it's fine for a guy to get coochie during the talking stage, because I'm somewhere getting some dick in the talking stage too.
But how do you handle those emotions, those strong emotions? Like,
but it's the talking stage.
The question really truly is like, what if you like the person at a high level?
People are
so
different.
Then I think it takes a conversation. If your feelings are starting to get invested, then we need to talk about this. Because if it's bothering me, then that means I like you more than just this talking stage. I just think it needs to be a conversation.
Even happen?
It just happens. Because, for example, the girl that I was talking to, like I told her exactly what I wanted. Like, I didn't want a relationship. I wanted us to remain friends. I honestly didn't even want anything else than that. But things happen, you know what I mean? So I did see her talking to someone else, but she also seen me talking to other people, and I was like, girl, why are you freaking out? Because we are friends. But then I realized when I saw her talking to another girl, I was like, like I got pissed off. But then I realized, man, maybe I do have feelings for her. So I approached her with it. I said, you know what, I do have feelings for you, but I need to push myself back, because I need to hold myself back, because we haven't discussed this. And I apologized to her. It's like, I apologize for like getting all crazy and jealous and stuff like that, because it's the first time that I've liked someone in a long, long time. So, and I was like, this relationship is really different for me. But then again, I just saw some other things that had red flags with her. So I was just like, let me stop.
Yeah.
So with the talking stage, you can also figure those things out, that if red flags approach you with that certain person, then you have a chance to run.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of there.
You have anything to add? What do you think? Pretty much.
I've always been that. Like I've moved like that my whole life. So it's nothing... something out of this world. Like for me, like during the talking stage, like
not someone during the talking stage asking me to be their girlfriend.
Not even that. It's just like I don't want to be controlled in the sense of a woman telling me that certain ways that I move don't collide with how they move. Like I just don't like that dynamic, and that's only if we're not in a serious relationship. Like, I don't want you to tell me different ways you want me to move if we're not in that kind of situation. Everything else is definitely fine for me.
Yeah.
Everything else is definitely fine. Like, if you feel away, if you have some issues, cool, we'll talk about it, whatever. But like, don't come at me with some other shit, because I really I'm not gonna respond the way you think I should in those moments.
Do you feel like you make that clear during the talk?
I do.
Oh, okay. Or I was just wondering, because I think sometimes people, and this is not a man or a specifically man or female, I think both parties sometimes don't always fully disclose, you know what I'm saying? And then that's when you leave room for error, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
Like the way I don't, I just know how, like, because I've been I won't say doing with the podcast and stuff, like I've been around people in mass when it's me being the person that they're hiring type stuff. So like I've always been in situations where like I'm the cook, I'm this or whatever the case may be. So I never take what a person says directly to me and use that as how I filter our conversations moving forward. If that's what you do, perfectly fine. I'm not the one for that.
Right.
But what if you, during the talking stage, you tell the significant other or the potential significant other, hey, like, don't want anything else, don't want to be exclusive right now, but they act like you are. Like, how do you handle that situation? Do you just cut them off completely? Do you reiterate what you said?
I would think you get to a point you would have to reiterate, like, you know, hey, I feel like you're moving like this.
That sounds like something you would, like, I wouldn't even respond in that light. Like, I would be, so a lot of times people like people from the way they move. They do things daily, stuff like that. For me, it's just, you knew what I was doing before I met you, and I'm going to continue to do that. So why did you like me in the first place?
Yeah.
What were you trying to change
That's a good point to make.
Afterwards. Like, you knew I was this, you knew how I move, you knew that I would just focus on just like the industry and the work. Why would you try to change that if this is how you came into my life?
Got you.
Like, why?
I think so. I'm just trying to. So when you like throw out scenarios, I try to put myself in the scenario. You know what I mean? So like I'm processing it. And this is only like if that was a scenario, right? You put, and you're and that's the situation. I would think that I'm not trying to change, but I want to. I think some women want to just fit in, you know. And I think sometimes, you know, I think like you naturally just start to, when you're really feeling somebody, you make time for the things that you want to make time for. You know what I'm saying? So I think if somebody's not still doing everything that they were before and maybe not fit, the person doesn't feel like they quite fit in, that's kind of how I process it. Like if I was talking to somebody and then they you know, continue to move and maybe doing all the, you know, focus on their business and stuff, the driven stuff. Like I am attracted to that. I like your ambition. I like your motivation. I like your drive. I like that. But still all of that focus, like, okay, now where do I fit in? Like, I like you. I want to be with you. I want to spend time with you, but I just don't feel like I fit in your world, in your life, you know? So that's my perspective. And so it's not that I'm trying to change, but really like I'm trying to find, okay, what's my purpose?
And, whose job is it to do that? Is it the person that you are very fond of, or is it just a group effort? Like,
I think it's a joint effort.
And if it is, like, if you finally get to a point where the guy's like, "Yo, this is where you fit,"
yeah,
and you don't like where you fit,
then you have decisions to make.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
and it's not even. It's not even a conversation. It shouldn't.
Yeah,
it shouldn't even be. It shouldn't even be a conversation.
It don't
with the guy
have
and
to
the
be.
girl.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like I'm gonna make you feel bad. You know, I rearranged this. You know, normally I'm just throwing out my scenario here. Normally I would be spending time with my son, and I'm not spending my time with my son because I'm trying to spend time with you. You know what I mean? But it doesn't have to be that. You can look at the situation and see, okay, I kind of moved around what I got going on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and he doesn't seem that he can do that, or you know, not reciprocate it, but he may not just. That just might not fit in his life at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be, let me guilt trip you. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people do that.
They do.
Yeah. Let me guilt trip you because this is what I've done. But just assess the situation. It just might not be aligned at the time.
And also, to get off of this, just understanding that every person is an individual.
Right.
Right. You can come into every situation with the same mindset and it not work for 20 plus people. Right. With the same mindset, you're gonna end up looking like that person wasn't what you were looking for. But when you started looking for that person, it just didn't work out. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's so funny because I saw this earlier. This was posted 5 hours ago. But and I think this is a lot of people's problem. So it's just a meme, but it says, my problem is I expect me out of people. And I think that's a lot of people, right? So people expect, like, I've done this.
I know
you should do this. You know what I mean? I've been guilty of it. I think a lot of people do that. And like, so exactly what you said, people are individuals. You know what I'm saying? You can't expect just because you did this, that they're going to do the exact same thing that, and you know, so I think it's growing and life lessons and you know, just acknowledging certain things, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I just, with that question, as far as like what you should be doing during the talking stage, it really like, it spoke to me because like, I don't even be out there like that.
Yeah.
You know, but because of things I do and situations I'm in, like people think I'm out there like that just because of that. And once they actually are around me at a high level, like they be like, "There's no way this nigga has time to do that."
Yeah.
Like he's always focused on this, and this.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's my stance on that. Like I just don't think that I don't owe anybody anything, and no one owes me anything either back.
Right.
You know,
and I think that's good. I mean, as long as you have that same, keeping that same energy, right? Like you're not giving this off, but expecting something different in return. You, like you said, this is how you move, and no one owes you the same thing back, and you know that. So
I do.
it's like, there's you're not leaving room for error, because what I'm giving is the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense.
I move exactly how I'm supposed to, per me. But there's some other topics. So, I think that there's whatever you want to jump into. So
moving on, we're kind of still in the relationship. Let's say that ends, right? You end this talking stage with somebody, and you move on to somebody else, right? Is it okay to date one of your friends' exes? Okay, now this stems, just to give you some backstory, this stems from Portia blowing up the internet a couple weeks ago. For anybody that watches Housewives of Atlanta, right? I don't watch that, but I am a reality TV junkie on certain shows, and this is one of my go-to. I am been a part since season 1. I've been riding with them, okay? So this is one of my shows. So I do, and I like Portia. I've been riding with Portia for a while, even when she was like an airhead, because she had some moments where, Portia, did you really say that? Anyway, so this stemmed from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Portia, there was she brought on a new girl on this season. On the show, she was allegedly Portia's friend. That's how Bravo introduced her to the show. Bravo. Yeah, Bravo. That's how Bravo brought her to the show as Portia's friend. They were hanging out with Portia. Portia was hanging out with Fallon, right? All up at her house. Oh. Yes, all at her house.
I think we talked about this.
Yeah. I
feel like we did. I think
we talked about it
off.
Yeah,
okay.
Off air. Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
She was all at Fallon's house. Fallon's husband was there. They were all at her pool, smoking her hookah, drinking her drink.
Oh yeah, because I said not the hookah.
Yeah. So the show premiered it and made it seem as if they were friends. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now show has ended. Now a whole bomb dropped, and now I saw a couple months back Fallon and her husband were getting a divorce, but now allegedly. And they posted on Mother's Day that Portia and Fallon's ex, or soon to be ex, because the divorce isn't final, but now they're engaged. So, is it okay and there's a lot of one-off little topics, so now Portia's saying they were never really friends, and then people are saying that is what reality TV does. Sometimes they introduce somebody as your friend just to bring them on the show, so they may not be friends, whatever. So there's different scenarios. So if it is a friend, is it okay,
a true friend,
not a TV friend or whatever, because then we'll go off on a different tangent with the other. But if it is a true friend, is it okay to date their ex?
I think it's depends on how you were introduced to the ex. If I have a close friend, my homeboy, and whoever shorty was just didn't work, and we find each other later in life type shit, perfectly fine. If I meet her at my homeboy's function, no. Yeah. So you meet her at your homeboy's function, y'all kick it, they get a divorce, and you the next person. Yeah.
You can't do that.
No, can't.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at Fallon. Because I haven't seen the new episode, so I'm just looking at everybody.
But then again, I don't know how, even when it comes to the show itself, how much they come in contact with each other. Because I don't know what the studio looks like. I don't know how
you mean behind the scenes?
Yeah, I don't know what that even looks like. So maybe there's scenes where it's just her and she's doing what she has to do. There's scenes with him and he has to do what he has to do, and y'all mingle. That's different. Yeah. I'm talking about just straight random dudes vibe. Yeah. But if you guys kick it off like that and you're not even fucking with the dude like that, even if you are in that setting, it's a different setting. Mm-hmm. You're literally just kicking it, doing what you gotta do, filming your scene, she films her scene or whatever, and y'all meet up in the back or something. Like work. A corporate office.
Right.
That's
so I was gonna transition into that, like a work setting in just a moment. I agree with you. I feel like friends, if you are my friend, like, no. First of all my exes is off limits for all my friends, okay? It don't matter if y'all meet later on in life. That nigga is off limits, okay? Just like y'all
don't see him.
disclosure.
Women love to say this whole phrase like, "There's a trillion people in the world. You chose my friend."
It really is, though.
Come on now.
Like,
we live in the same vicinity. We live in the same area.
And I date people outside of this area. I have dated like 2 people in this area. The rest are outside. So if you go date somebody in this area, because that 9 times out of 10, I haven't fucked with them. So all the niggas in this area is a free game. Go for it. Okay?
That's exactly what I told homegirl. Was like, you're talking to my other friends, but like they're like,
is there a weird sense of loyalty that's necessary from you guys?
I'm just like, why are you dipping in the same chip?
I think so.
Why are you dipping in the same dip?
Is there a weird sense of loyalty from you guys? Because this is actually something that me and C and Amir, we had a conversation about this. Like, and we use the domain as a kind of like conduit, like, because like you can go to the domain and you can kind of mesh with all kinds of different people. Like I've been with a person and someone hit on me in the club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like you never know, because people. I think friends think that their friends only do what they do. You know what I mean? Like my friends are out. My friends are in the streets.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. Right? Who's to say they didn't meet somebody that I also met in those streets at some point?
So I feel like if you can, so that's different. Like I feel like if you meet somebody that I talked to and it was nothing serious, like you know who my ex-husband is.
Yeah.
You know the person that I was in this last long relationship with. Like I'm talking about stuff like that. If I meet somebody, we talk, we go on a couple dates, yeah, I'm not
I feel like that's fair game.
Yeah, that's fair game. But if somebody that I had like there's history there. There's emotion there.
And the part about it is you know what you've been through with that. That person know your friend, supposedly they're your friend. They know what you've been through in that relationship with that person. So
probably have been there when I was crying.
Like, why? Like, why would you?
That's a conversation that I personally don't understand from women. Is because like none of those situations are positive about the guy. Like anytime that conversation comes up, it's always like, you know what I've been through with him, like you know this and this, and they don't really dive into the guy. You know, like just because you went through that, unless it's some abusive ass shit, unless it's that, and I'm not advocating to men hitting like none of that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like if you at the end of the day felt a certain way about this guy, not because of anything physical, but because of some emotional disagreements you guys have, and a friend or a person that you're close with finds this guy and he meshes perfect, he's the key.
Yeah, like I don't know. That could happen. My personal experience is these niggas, these keys don't fit none of y'all's locks. I'm telling you, take it from me. It's not the key you want.
I've had whole conversations with people. Like I think.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Keep going.
No, I was just, it just, just thoughts dropped. But, yeah, like one of my biggest things is I want everybody that I love, everybody that I care about. I love love. Okay? I want everybody to be happy. I really want everybody to be in love. Like that's big to me. So, my intent, like if I'm telling you like this is not what you want, like it's because I care about you. Like I know what these people are capable of. I would never want to see you in a situation that I've already been through. You know what I mean?
And so isn't that not a controlling aspect? Because you don't. So the way I understand people is that a person is a chemical. Every person is a chemical, and if you mesh chemicals with certain people, they turn out to be beautiful. If you mesh certain chemicals with other people, disasters, right? So like people's mind, like, do you know your friends better than they think they know themselves? Because that's what that sounds like. Like if you know your friends, you kick it with your friends, you know their experiences. And saying that, in my opinion, that makes it sound like you think you know them better than they know themselves.
I don't think it's about knowing your friends. It's about knowing that other person.
But if you don't really, that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't know what that combination of that person will do with that person. Like, you don't know. And once again, barring any physical abuse or anything like that, I'm talking about personalities. Some personalities just don't mesh. And that can turn toxic. But what a third personality that you claim you know, because you think you know your friend at that level, like, what does that look like?
To be honest, like, for me, like, my friends, the people around me are way more no nonsense people. So they're not even gonna put up with any of the bullshit that I had to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, the relationships that I was in should have ended years before they ended. So it wouldn't even get that far. Like, I know that. You know what I'm saying?
So would you say that your friends know you better than you know yourself?
No.
So, I mean, if you know yourself, if you personally know yourself, that explanation makes sense, right? Because you're like in a situation where they knew it was toxic before you knew it was toxic.
Oh yeah,
that's a long-lasting situation, right?
I think
they saw signs.
I feel like
they saw signs.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's them knowing me better than me. I think that sometimes love is blind, and sometimes when you're in a toxic situation, you just can't see it. You know what I mean? It's gonna take you like hitting. Okay. Like, you just have to come to and realize it.
That's a long.
So, like, at a certain point, like, even with my toxic relationship, I talk to them about everything. I'm like, oh, this is what happened.
Just like that.
So they knew, like, okay, I'm like, at that point they were just tired of hearing about, you know, when you're just tired of hearing about like, why are you doing the same thing with the same person? Like, why? I mean, I know y'all are talking but like,
true.
So
I feel y'all are friends.
So like, at that point they should already know. Like, it shouldn't even be a thing where
we're talking about that's a long-term relationship. Like, your friends can learn the relationship with being your friends. I'm talking about per the question, right, was like, would you date a friend? Like, no, would you date a friend's ex? And what does that loyalty even look like? What does that even look like? So say you don't. Say you, like, you know, it's girl code. I'm not gonna date you. I'm not gonna fuck with you. And he turns out to be the perfect person for you, based off of your friend's experience with that person.
I missed that opportunity because my loyalty lies to her.
Yeah. Because
why is there loyalty though?
Because honestly, I look at it this way. Because I would rather have my friend in my life who's been in my life, who's been there with me through everything, through thick and thin, than having someone who I just know what they've been through. And then, this is my personal opinion, knowing what they've been through and knowing that person, like, because if you know, I feel like if they were together, then chances are you met this person. Mm-hmm. You know how they operate, you know how they act. So I would not. I would just choose my friend over just anything like that. You know what I mean?
How many times have people
consider that?
How many times have people lost great relationships for doing that?
But how many people have lost great friendships for doing the other thing?
And then it didn't last. I feel like it can go both ways.
It can. Yeah. And shouldn't it be still the opportunity? Because you give the same kind of energy. In just my opinion. So once again, like we talked about, like if my friend. If I am really close with a dude and I meet his girl or his ex-girl outside of being in a group setting, right? Mm-hmm. Versus if we're in a group setting, I'm like, man, your chick is fine, kind of like, you know, hold on to her, and you don't hold on to her, and then I go for her, and it works for me. Like, but it works. Like, what does that friend look like? Like, I'm strained. I'm confused as far as like what it looks like for people who do that. Like, if you are in a relationship with whoever, whatever, and I end up being with the girl afterwards, like I'm confused at how that actual dynamic works for women and men too. I'm confused. I'm not saying I know the answers. I just want to know like what that looks like from even the outside looking in, because I've seen situations where your dudes with women and women and the dude don't work out.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
homegirl comes in and now they're together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I've just seen situations like that, so I don't know what that actually looks like.
So I actually had a similar situation. I had a situation where I had met somebody and we kicked it a couple of times, and we kicked it a handful of times, and I felt like the energy just wasn't there, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the process, and we kicked it in group settings, a couple of one-on-one settings, but then mostly group settings. So
you was with a guy and you was in group settings, and the energy between you and him were not there.
Yeah, it was more of like a friendship vibe. Like, it just wasn't like romantic type vibe, right? Mm-hmm. But then one of his friends that was always with him started hitting me up, and was like, I think he noticed that we just had more of a friendship vibe, and so he's like, let's hang out, let's go on some dates, I want to take you out, da 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 da. But then I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Like, me and the guy that I had met, like, we did sleep together one time, we smashed one time. So now I feel like it was hella awkward for me because his friend really likes me more than that. You know what I'm saying? Actually, it didn't count. He was the one that didn't count because it was less than 10 minutes, so it really didn't count.
See,
but
less than 10 minutes don't count.
The 2 minutes 50 seconds. If it's above 10 minutes, who?
No. Yeah, 9:59, right? Mm-hmm. If you got 9:59, you got at least
get out at 9:59 if you don't like it.
And it don't count. There you go. I'm trying to save you a body too for the dudes. That's how y'all save a body. Get out at 9:59 and it won't count. Don't go towards the body count. But anyway, so now I feel like that makes it awkward. So let me ask you. So you seeing the outside looking in, is it okay for me now to talk to his friend that is pursuing me more in a romantic relationship? Likes my vibe, likes the conversation, feeling my energy. So we never really hit it off. We had did what we did, but it didn't go. Nothing sparked. And then conversation completely dead. We just weren't feeling each other. But now. So, and then I feel like I felt uncomfortable. I had never been in a situation like that.
I've been in situations like that.
So is it okay from a male perspective? I can kick it with, and then I feel like that conversation needs to be had between them too. Because
I personally think that the conversations is played out as far as what people say. I think people say a conversation should happen. And that conversation happens, but it don't happen the way either parties want. Okay. So that's not a conversation. And in your situation, it depends on the person, the dude. I have 3 close male friends. Those my guys. Yeah. None of them live in the city. Yeah. None of them. Right. And if that had happened, hey, check out the streets. It's okay.
That's what I would think. And then okay.
It's perfectly fine.
But it did make me feel uncomfortable. I was like, oh shit, oh shit.
It's tough.
Yeah.
But trust me, if that was the case, then I'm probably gonna be the dude that you did sleep with originally, and you end up with the homie. I'm still probably gonna be the guy that you can still kick it with. I'm still gonna be that guy, even if we smashed once. And you ended up with not even a homie.
See, and then I think that it could be me overanalyzing, because I was like, what if I end up in the same room with both of these dudes? I would feel uncomfortable.
I've been in mad rooms with people that I've been in relationships
with 2 people,
more than that. I've been in mad rooms.
I've been in a room with all the people that I've I'm just sitting there like this.
I've been in mad rooms where I just walk through. I'm cool. Y'all have to talk to me. I know.
Y'all talk to each other.
I feel like I talk to each other. If you're into people outside, in a bar setting, whatever. But I feel like in close proximity, 2 people that I just feel like that would be uncomfortable.
It might be for you. For me, it's hey yo.
It was what it was. Yeah.
It's just it happened. Yeah. You can't unhappen shit.
Yeah. And then don't stress about it happening. It happened. Let's move on. We're adults, right?
What's next?
Let's see, like Drake said, let's see what's happening next.
Mm-hmm. I like that song for that reason.
Okay.
What's next? What are we talking about, guys?
So,
was it still on this? Was it something else?
No, well, if we want to hit the friendships later, but I want to move in, since we're kind of in the sex vibe, right? Kind of sexual energy type vibe. Sliding into or transitioning into the sexual harassment Joe Budden situation. Okay.
That's tough.
Yeah, so it's kind of taking a more serious turn right now, just for a moment. You know, we'll pick it back up in just a moment. But Calvin, I want you to explain the whole, because I didn't see it. I heard it really quick in passing, so I didn't see the whole interview, everything that she just had to say. Like, I probably only heard like a 30-minute snip.
So, shout out to my guy Joe Budden. Like, I think people don't like his abrasiveness. He's a Virgo. I'm a Virgo. We're on that same energy. Like, I get information how I feel it, and nothing else.
Yeah.
So, he had or has 3 podcasts under the Joe Budden Podcast Network. One being, God damn, what is it? What's the fucking name? Because I'll be honest, I don't watch the other 2 shows just because I don't vibe with the other hosts, but there is a podcast that's out there. I think it's See the New Thing or something. There's something. I'm not going to name the actual podcast name, but there was a podcast that he has, which is 2 extra other than the Joe Budden podcast, and all the other 2 are also associated with just women. And so the first one he released, 3 women. One of the women felt really uncomfortable when it came to Joe's advances, as far as like him. And I'll be honest with you, he definitely said, "I want to fuck." Like, he said that right on the episode, and giving her the opportunity to say, "Do you want that out?" Or like, "What do you want?" And I'm not on his side at this point.
Yeah.
I don't get to his point. I don't get on his side until later. But if you're in a setting, so say if we're in this podcast setting, which we are in, and I'm like, "Raven, Brittany, I just want to fuck."
Yeah.
Right. But you guys feel cool with that because you think that's how I move. You're a part of that.
I'm a sexual person, so I'd probably be comfortable with that.
And you would laugh in that situation, right? So.
Me too. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
One of the 3 hosts felt uncomfortable in that setting. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people don't understand, like, when it comes to the podcasting setting, there is literally like 15, 20 people. You have a production team, you have lawyers that are sitting there. Like, you have a bunch of people behind the scenes.
Right.
And, she expressed that, but she didn't express that until a couple episodes later. And I never want to, like, minimize a feeling or a trigger. Like, you never know. You just never know.
Yeah.
So she expressed to the staff at that time she was kind of like uncomfortable or whatever. I don't mean whatever, but she expressed to the staff that she was good. Everyone checked on her. Everybody in that situation checked on her, right? And everything was good. They did 2 more episodes. And then 3 months later, she came out with a video saying that she felt that she was in a sexual harassment kind of like environment and stuff like that. And she still has 2 female co-hosts.
And they did not know until she came out with the video, or they knew prior?
Well, they knew prior to her leaving, because after the 2 episodes, she discussed with a lawyer that she was going to leave the podcast, only, in my opinion, to get her out of the contract that was there.
Oh, okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
So she did that. She got out 3 months later. She comes out with a video explaining her time there and things like that, and what Joe did and what he said. He did nothing physical, like, to the extent that you would see.
He didn't touch her inappropriately?
To her knowledge, he kind of did when he gave her a hug, and she said that he gyrated his hips, or she said something.
Oh, okay. I think I heard that clip, but they cut it out or something?
Yeah. But she had full control on what was out.
You
know what I mean? Like, she had the ability. So a lot of stuff is not out or has been cut, but a lot of stuff is still in there per what she's saying. So she says everything she has to say as far as, like, coming out and saying how she felt sexually harassed and things like that. But she didn't express that to her co-hosts, who are also women. So it gets really difficult for men to understand Like, okay, so you want women around you, you want women to feel this certain way about you and feel this way and be able to dictate conversations this way. But if you're surrounded by them and then you don't feel comfortable, is it really the guy's fault? And even if it is his fault, because I think it was inappropriate to what Joe said. I think it was really inappropriate per the conversation. But I can understand, like, yo, you guys are kicking the shit. Like, it's nothing like in a corporate setting. You really are sitting on the couch, kicking it, hanging out, all that stuff. So
I wonder how well she knows the other two co-hosts. I wonder that it's almost like I just need more.
To my understanding, she doesn't know. Well, I won't say doesn't know. I just think that they're not as cool as the other two.
Like the other two are like cool.
So there's there's 3 co-hosts. She's the third one, and I want to say the third one as the last one, just like because the podcast started with all 3 of them.
Okay. Right. But they may have.
I think they might be cooler with Joe versus her with Joe, because a whole part of the process was him saying to the girl who felt sexually harassed, is like, yo, we never kick it. Like, we don't know each other like that, and let's get to know each other. But he put in let's fuck, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I just think that for me as a man, sexual harassment wise, and I can't tell a woman how she should feel in any moment. But for me, I think that if you do something crazy that's not physically harming you, you should get 1. Anything after that, dead it.
Yeah.
HR handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Like I feel like I would, the first time that it happened, analyze the situation. Like, make sure that I didn't give off a welcoming energy or something. You know what I'm saying?
And that energy doesn't even exist. Like, there's no welcoming energy when it comes to women.
But I'm just trying to say, just make sure that I didn't do anything that may have said, I want to fuck.
To give the
I want to fuck you too. Yeah, I want to fuck. Women can flirt, and dudes know when women want to fuck. Make sure that I didn't say.
And even if you did, it's still not. Yeah, it's still not acceptable.
Yeah, I'm not agreeing. But I'm just also making sure that I just analyzing the situation. Now, if it happens again, then I know I'm not tripping, and I need to bring it to like you said, dead it right then and there. You know what I'm saying? With the other girls not feeling. Or kind of feeling upset about her not saying something to them sooner. I just don't know the dynamic of their relationship. Like,
if you're texting,
I think it also means if she didn't want to speak on it, it's probably just because she just felt really, really uncomfortable.
And that's a big thing. She felt extremely uncomfortable, right? And I'm not. Once again, I don't want to try to make it seem like any party is right.
Yeah.
But every party feels a way. And if she felt that way in that moment, I'm not the person to say you should have said something right then and there.
Yeah.
It's not my job or my idea to say that.
Right. And I can only try to put myself in the situation, right? Because I even feel like, if something happened at my job, right? We have a group chat of my coworkers, our 6-man team. But I don't know that I would feel comfortable with talking to some of those people. We just don't have that type of relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that could be her dynamic. So I can't judge her as far as, why she didn't say something to them sooner. But I do feel like first time, unless it is really blatant, you stick your hand up what I'm saying?
I feel like anything, and I don't really even know the true definition of sexual harassment, but what it's been displayed as is someone who persistently treats you a certain way, vice versa, men and women. And I don't know, I don't know what happened prior to this incident. I don't know if this was incident 15.
Isolated incident or there's a track record.
Yeah, I don't know. Not only as far as when Joe goes, I just don't know because they brought on an African American black woman therapist on the show. They brought her on, and I don't want to speak for her or anything like that, but she analyzed it to the point yo, one straw does not break a camel's back. like there's many things that have happened prior to that for someone to react in those situations. So she could have felt that way in different industries. She's a DJ.
Yeah.
You know, so I can only imagine you going to the club, you the DJ, you walking through the club, you know, niggas is just like, yo, what's up, shorty? Like, yo, I'm the DJ.
So, as far as the definition of sexual harassment is behavior characterized by the making of unwelcome and inappropriate sexual remarks or physical advances in a workplace or other professional or social situations. So, by definition, yes, she was sexually harassed. Even
but what is that? How does that equal that? So once again, I'm sure everyone in this room has made kind of remarks to the opposite sex.
Absolutely, like
whether you're truly sexually attracted to them or it's a moment,
we make
it's a time,
all the time. Like, and then we, you know, at work we joke around at work all the time. Like, you know, but technically, if somebody overheard one of our jokes and something that we said, it could be deemed, you know what I'm saying? We could technically get in trouble for it. You know?
That's why I wanted to bring it up. Because it's a weird subject.
Yeah.
Just because, like, men get sexual harassed all the time.
Yeah.
If that's the definition.
Yeah.
And what are you supposed to do? Like, Shirley said this. Let me go to HR.
Yeah.
Like, take our time out of our day to go to HR and say, I felt this way. And what are they going to do? Send her an email? What's going to happen?
Probably getting a written, verbal, written. It depends.
Exactly.
On
so
because they would have to go through all this legal action.
There's a leeway to that in corporate offices. Like if it happens once, all right, let me give you the first letter. You're in trouble. You have your step one. If it happens 2 or 3 times, then you know whatever happens. But one time.
But is it one time? Maybe this was the first time that we heard about it.
To my understanding, it was one time, and everybody. So this is not a podcast where it's like 3 people. It's not just us. Like imagine a podcast where there's 40 other people in the room, producers, lawyers, mad people in the room, and everybody who spoke about it that was in the room was like, you know, we asked her like how she felt in that moment because Joe was being Joe, just saying some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then afterwards saying like, "Are you all right? Like your mood's kind of off."
Yeah.
You know, like, "Are you all right?" She, "All right, I'm cool. I'm good. But wasn't. And it's not only men asking her that; it's a ton of women.
Yeah.
So you know, what's the power of women in those situations? And what does that look like for men? Like if a dude says something to you, but he surrounds himself around tons of women, and I'm not saying this to like minimize it. I'm just saying like if you are in a situation where a man does something not physical, once again, nothing physical. If he says something to you, you feel uncomfortable. Shouldn't you feel comfortable enough to go to the women that are around?
I would think so. I would hope so.
Right? Like if this is what we're talking about as far as women empowerment and stuff like that, shouldn't it be a sense of you going to your women peers?
Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope that you feel comfortable. You know, if you're being a part of something, I would hope that you would feel comfortable with at least one person, you know? I would think.
At least one.
Well, I hope that
her name is Olivia Pope.
I hope that you know, everything happens the way that it needs to in that situation. Sorry that she felt that way.
Olivia Dope. She's a DJ. I've not heard her DJ, but I've heard she's really, really dope. And See the Thing Is, that's the podcast. Sorry, guys. Like the See the Thing Is podcast is the podcast she was originally about, or originally a third member on. But just hearing these women talk and how many women have like shitted on them, like you should have known she felt that way. Like you should have been there. You ain't shit.
So they're getting energy.
Like you should have been there to protect her in those moments. And like
a lot of times you just can't. Trolls. Like you can't. A lot of the times with situations like this, it's very tricky for other people to come to your rescue just because a lot of people don't want to talk about it. Like from personal experience with personal abuse in the past. Like, I didn't want to talk about it, even with my close friends. So it's very tricky because you just want the person who's a victim or victim, quote unquote victim, they feel embarrassed. So a lot of the times, like, you can't sit there and say, hey, why didn't you step in here and do this and do that? Because, you know, we can't do that. All we have to do is, like, once we know, we have to just try to be there for one another. You know what I mean? So.
And shout out, this month is Mental
Awareness Month.
It is.
Yes. And my mental's doing just fine.
And I don't think people understand what like media looks like for regular people.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if someone just shitted on us for like 5,000 comments.
Yeah.
But we were telling our truths. We were saying exactly how we felt in the moment and stuff like that.
I'm going to my therapist.
But people were shitting on us for 5,000 comments, and you have to live with that because you're part of the media.
Yeah.
You know, so it's tough.
It's
tough
almost like in that situation you gotta for real disconnect just for a moment, because that will make you go crazy. You know, especially if your platform is based on, you know, there's a lot. Social media is a lot of people's life. You know, that's how they make their living, you know, their brand and everything. So they're on social media. They have to be a part of it. And then to have your name just run through the mud, and, you know, like that.
After
that's
all the
tough.
work you put in.
Yeah,
After all the work
tough.
you put in positively.
But yeah, that's what I'm about to say, because all it takes is one, right? One time. It doesn't matter. You can do 100 positive things, great things, but one thing that the people feel like you didn't do right. It may not even be that you could have done what you thought was best in that situation, but if everybody that's watching you doesn't, like, their opinion trumps.
And shout out to the game. I think his lyric, he was like, you do 4 favors for a person, but you can't do the 5th. And that's when people, like, treat you bad.
Yeah.
You do 4 favors.
Totally
but
forget
you can't
everything that you did. Everything. Could have gave them your right pinky toe. And they don't forget. They walking fine. You walking with a limp, and they don't give 2 shits because you didn't give them your thumb. You know, or whatever the case may be. It's crazy. People are wild. People are a trip.
It is crazy. Definitely crazy. So this is something I think I saw, and unless you guys want to get into something else.
No, you're good. You're good.
If y'all want to read it, I'm not going to read all this shit out because it's a ton.
I read it earlier.
I don't really even know how to word it. I don't even know how to word it. Like, it just, to me, the whole thing sounds like if you decide to settle down with a man, you lose opportunities, versus a man being with a woman and you don't lose opportunities. That's what I got from this spill.
I think for me personally, I think if you end up with somebody, like, if you end up with somebody who you fit with them, you know what I mean? Sometimes they can bring on those opportunities that you were missing in your life. So I don't necessarily think this is true. In some situations, yes, but in all situations, no. Just because, like I said, if you meet somebody that you really like and you really connect with, those opportunities could, you know, be endless. Like, they can help you start a new business.
That's
and stuff
what I'm saying.
that.
So I think that I don't know who Michael Basden is. I don't know who this person is, but it just sounds like a thing that someone who has probably experienced the worst.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely jaded.
Yeah,
you know,
because once
maybe
again,
from
like
personal experience that they had.
So I don't feel like you should generalize it. I feel like you should say, in my opinion, you know, because he's making it like, once a woman, all women, once you become monogamous, that you're trading monogamy for opportunity.
I don't know. I don't even call people guys and girls anymore.
Yeah.
How are you deciding for us, Michael?
But I've experienced this though, like in relationships. Like I've been in a relationship that, like, this kind of setting wouldn't have happened if I was in that relationship. Like, that particular person would not allow y'all in his home.
Trust me, I've been in that too recently with the name we don't speak of. He was so I think we discussed that too, like on the podcast.
I've been in real life relationships with women that who don't feel comfortable with me working with. So I know everyone knows as far as like the cooking things and things like that, where I would be cooking for multiple women and stuff like that. My particular ex was not comfortable with me cooking with other women, or this podcast would not happen. It would have to be me with 3 other dudes in here for this podcast to exist. So I understand what it's being said.
Yeah.
Because I was only able to elevate after leaving that person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I was still in that relationship, God forbid, I don't want to go back to that bullshit. But if I was not that type of relationship, this podcast literally could not exist.
Yeah.
Because you guys are women. Nothing you guys did, nothing you said to me, but because you guys are women, women don't want women in their space. That's just it's a tough reality.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Because, like I said, the name we don't speak of, he was very just crazy that, like, me and Calvin had a podcast together. He's like, oh, I was like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You're literally,
and most women would
crazy.
Give that up because that's what their man wanted. Yeah. So that's kind of what the guy is saying at the end of this.
Yeah.
It says women are playing themselves when they allow marriage or the promise of being exclusive to offset their mental, sexual, financial, and emotional needs and standards. That's just my opinion. You know, so I understand what he's saying there, because he's saying most people or most women, when they get involved with someone, everything else is out the door. The life that they have before.
It should be men and women in this situation.
Yeah, I agree, because you've experienced it. And then he's saying, but now in the mature women, you know, like their male friends, you know, companions, businesses are a big part of their life.
That's something I had to grow into, because like I just remember, like, growing up, my parents have been married for 30 plus years or whatever. I've said this before, but like me understanding from what I saw was mom, dad, no other people involved.
Yeah.
I didn't see dudes come kick it with my dad.
Yeah.
I didn't see dudes kick it with my moms. Like, until I was older, and I was like, damn, you friends with Jerry? Like, that's crazy. I never saw that. You guys we've been friends for 20 years. I never saw Jerry pull up to the crib. Y'all kick it, have some wine while dad's in the bed. Like, I never saw that. You know what I mean? So, like, I can understand the perspective from someone who's a lot older and someone who's a lot younger. The in-between, it's out of here.
Because I feel like it's changed. I feel like now it's more like, and I feel like kind of like our generation, like I have a lot of male friends. So the next person that I am involved with, like, you understand that these are my friends, like, because I've been in young, naive relationships where I did cut everything off. Like, and it wasn't that he asked me to cut everything off, but just in that mental, all I was worried about and focused on was,
you'll lose way more than you gain in this situation.
Well, all I was focused on was family. Like, that's all I saw. Like, I was very domesticated. I go to work, come home, cook dinner. Like, that's, you know, I wasn't really worried about, you know, so it just kind of slowly drifted away. Not that I was like, he didn't say that I couldn't have friends. It wasn't that at all. But
the worst situations rarely say that. They rarely say what you can't have. But they insinuate it. The emotions, their attitude, the way they move really makes you feel like
I've had someone say it directly to me. Like, I don't want you to have, even with girlfriends. So that was just manipulative and control. They were like, I don't want you to have this person in your life, this person in your life, this person in your life.
And was that something that you experienced early on in life? Because, like, for me, like, I'll be completely honest. Like, I was one of those guys when I was growing up, and that was me at 19, 18, 20 years old.
So he was 32, and I was 20, 25, 26.
And that's unfortunate, because a lot of people at that age never had someone not tell them that's not okay.
See, and I feel like for me, it was opposite. Like, I feel like when I got married young, he never said those things or even made me feel like I couldn't have friends. Or what I wanted to do was be at home taking care of my family. You know what I'm saying? But when I was in my last situation, he was almost 40. And he was the one who was very manipulative and making me feel like you can't have male friends. I'm the only person that you need. You know, you're the only person. He would say, well, he would make it like, you're the only person I have. You know, you're the only, I don't have anybody else. So if I go out of town, he's blowing on my phone, like he's depressed and he's down. And I'm like, so he was like manipulating me, like, and I'd be like, nigga, when I'm in town on the weekends, we might not even be together, but the weekend that I leave, now you need me. You know, so it was shit like that. Like I couldn't, it was very manipulative. So, but he was 40. So
those are the true conversations that should be had, but they're not had. Even 25 plus, those are the true conversations that are never had. It's like you don't even know this dude. Like even if you meet this dude, I'm not talking about your situation, but like if he's 40 and you guys haven't talked about shit he did before he was 40, if you don't sit down and talk about, and even vice versa, like you're 37 and he don't know shit that you did prior to 37, it's not gonna fail, but you're gonna find yourself looking at a house that you both built, but you don't even know how to build a house.
Yeah. No, I knew. I should have ran.
I always ask, like, what was your background?
There were some signs, and I should have ran.
And that's a thing too. Like, I think that for me personally, women don't like being asked about their background, because I think the whole thing is now like, I won't say now, but I think the whole kind of conversation as far as women goes right now, whatever age they're in, is like, don't worry about my past. This is who I am now. Like, I worked hard to get here.
Really?
From what I've experienced when it comes to women.
That's what I'm.
For me, I don't have a problem with being like,
me either. Because I'm proud of my growth.
Exactly.
You know, I'm proud of my growth. Like, I know that, you know, I was immature and I was naive, and you know, like I'm proud.
Do you guys have those conversations?
I do. Yeah, all the time. All the time. For every person that I meet, if it's not like I promote it, but if the conversation comes up, it comes up. But a lot of the times I ask, like with my previous ex, like I asked him, I was like, you know what, I've told you all the stuff about me and my past, because he would use it against me. But what about your past? Like, I want to know, like, why are you the way you are right now? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. Once he explained everything to me, I'm just like, oh gosh, no wonder. But I did not judge him for it or anything like that. I even told him, but like.
So that's my thing, is I even feel like the situation that I had before, there's a lot of stuff that he did disclose about his past and, you know, and how he ended up in the situation that he was. But when I meet people, and then especially after we start to get to know each other, like I feel like I walk into it understanding I know everybody had a past. You know what I'm saying? But are you trying to change or grow, or, you know, that's what I look for. I'm not going to judge you on a past. You know, people made mistakes at 18, right? They committed stuff that they ended up in prison, but, you know, it was a mistake that so I'm not going to judge you on your past and what, you know, but are you that person, or have you grown and you learned from it? That's what I'm looking for. So
I'll ask this. I want to ask this final question before we get into some uncomfortable truths.
Oh Lord.
What does the ideal situation look like for you guys? Like, personally, you can ask me after you guys explain, but like the perfect situation. So wherever you are, perfect guy, woman, whoever, binary, whatever the situation is for you guys, what do you guys see yourself with a person after today? Like after today?
Like,
And if you are looking, if you're not looking, then the question doesn't apply to you. So if you're not looking, you don't have to answer.
Someone who's going to be completely honest with me up front about everything and their intentions, so that one, I can know what level that we're on or what level I can move. Two, someone who's going to be very who's a good communicator, and two, who's not non-judgmental, not jealous. I don't know if that's what you're talking about along the lines of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, anything you want. So once again, anything you are looking for as an individual to move forward with and continue.
Yeah, good energy, a good friendship first too, because that's very important to me. If we have a good friendship, that we can basically, because I feel like in a relationship, a lot of times, like, you can't discuss a lot of things with that. Like, you should be able to discuss with that person, but a lot of times in my past relationships, I wasn't able to discuss that because they would use that against me. But I want to be able to have a friendship that understands where I'm coming from, especially with my mental health, like my anxiety and my depression. I want to be able to express to them like how I'm feeling at that moment, so that they can know, okay, well, Raven, like, you know, I'm here for you and I'm support you. So. And also, that's a big part too. Someone who's very supportive of like the things that I do and the things that I want to do, and vice versa. I want to be supportive of what they want to do.
How would a person go about being that for you? Like, what actions are necessary for that to even make sense to you?
Someone who's really just not judging.
Someone. What actions could they take to equal to what you feel in those moments? Or want to be in that moment?
Being understanding, that they can be understanding. Like, if I tell them something and they just immediately just go off and be like, but if someone who's very understanding, I know, trust me, that's how they sound to me. But if someone who talks to me and they're very understanding and just like, okay, like, this is where you're coming from, and I can see it from your point of view, because a lot of times, like in the past, I haven't had that. And then also someone who's just really not possessive or toxic or not controlling, because I feel like I just never had that. And I'm so tired. I'm exhausted from people being that way towards me.
Brittany?
So me personally, I don't feel like I feel like I've been talking about this. This is our 8th episode, so I've been talking about it for like 2 months. Like, I'm so invested in my peace that I am not quote unquote looking for somebody. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I need that to be happy or to be complete. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny because I was watching. What was I watching? Can't remember what I was watching or listening to, but they were talking about in today's society, black women, 50% of black women, only 50% of black women will ever experience marriage. Mm-hmm. And then out of that, I want to say another half of that will be divorced.
Within the first 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, so... Mm-hmm. Me, myself, I feel like I'm even blessed to have been married. You know, yes, it ended up in divorce, but that's something I have had that experience. I have, and I've been in love. Like, I've experienced that. But I'm so invested in my peace right now that I'm okay if this is my story. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not everybody ends up married. You know what I'm saying? That's just not everybody's life. Mm-hmm. So I'm at peace knowing, like, if that's my story, I'm okay with it, and I'm blessed. So
I'll ask this question to you. So, had you had that same kind of level of peace, do you think you ever would have married in the first place?
Say that again.
Had you had the same level of peace that you have now, do you think you ever would have got married in the first place?
I think it may have been different. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Well, I feel like I was at peace. It was a wild peace. I didn't give a shit back when I was 20. I was 20. So it was a wild peace. It was a different type of peace. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, me at 20 and me at 37, I'm two different people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like I was at peace with myself at my 20-year-old self. So I think the same scenario would have happened. Yeah.
So, because you're the only person in this building, as far
not this building, this rooms.
No, we're in a building. Don't lie to the people.
The whole building. I'm sorry to this building.
We're in a whole studio. The last studio.
So, like, as far as like even being married and coming out of that marriage stuff, like what's happiness look like for you? I know you feel at peace, but like, don't you still want to like be a part of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would love a companion. You know, you know, I feel like there are moments I go through like waves. Like, you know, I might have a wave where I'm like, damn, like I wish I was snuggling right now or something like that. Or I wish I had somebody to share this experience with, you know. But you know, I just feel like I'm blessed in the family that I have. You know, some people, you know, don't have a close knit family like I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed with I'm blessed with supportive friends. You know, I'm blessed with friends that, you know, when I need, you know, my friends know if they haven't talked to me, the vibe is off. Hey, bitch, what's up? Like, you good? You know, like, or you know, my friend Tiffany will be like, hey, I love you, bye. Like, she, you know, just drop it, you know, like, I'm blessed to have that. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't want to take for granted what I do have because of what I don't have. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely, like, would I love somebody to share and experience life with? Like, if that happens, that happens. That's good. But, you know, I'm blessed with what I do have and what I've had. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I guess I just try not to take things for granted.
Yeah.
In this place of peace that I'm in.
That's what I've had a lot of support from my friends too. Like from the better than what I did in the past. So me right now, I feel like I'm in a better state mentally, and I feel like I am more at peace than what I was. Yes, I have a few breakdowns here and there, but like still, I feel like I'm in a better place. Yeah, internally.
Because I think some people get harp on, you know, what they don't have and wanting. Oh, I want a husband. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want this. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And
they happy.
They get caught up in what they don't have, and that can keep you in a bad place mentally too. If you're focusing on what you don't have, and you know, I'm just grateful and blessed for what I do have. So, and I'm good with that. What about you? What do you feel like the complete, or what would complete you, or?
Just for me, like I try my best to explain how I move. Like I think that I've said that 20 times in this whole podcast. Like how I move, like the way I move is different, and people don't get that, and I can't explain it. I just kind of move on my ear, like my voice and my tone. You know, like the perfect situation for me just would be, like, moving forward. I've never been married before, but I've seen what marriage can do to people, and I've seen what it can do negatively, and I've seen what it can do positively. Yeah. But I've seen way more negative in my life.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, our parents still being together after so long is rare nowadays, right? It which is so unfortunate. So I understand you see way more negative in marriage than you do see the positive, you know, which is unfortunate. So I understand people's hesitation. You know what I'm saying? And I think you have to go into it with the mind. I think some people, you know, people always say 50-50. Me personally, I believe that marriage is 100-100. You've got to give, both parties got to give 100% to it.
I'm just against contracts. And marriage is a contract. I'm not saying I'll never be married to a person ever, but I just don't like the ideal of we love each other so much, let's put each other in a contract. Like that doesn't, and to even get out of it takes a long time. You know what I mean? Like
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, that's how long it took.
Prior to the pandemic, it probably took a year at this point.
Yeah.
Right. So like
that's how long mine took back in the day.
But that was, you guys are probably amicable, right? Like it was like he was okay with it.
A little. It was a little back and forth. You had to get a little back and forth, but it wasn't terrible. But it did.
What age were you divorced?
25.
Okay, so that even pushes it to my whole idea. Like a lot of, like, once again, everyone knows I have a lot of female friends. A lot of females marry males. That's just a thing, right? None of them have been successful. In those moments, and
I think too. I don't know. This is just my personal opinion. This is nothing like factual or anything. I think that what you see or how you were raised as an individual. Also, you know, it carries on. You know, our parents teach us and instill in us different values and different morals. So me personally, like, I married someone that came from a broken family, you know? So I don't know if that had something, quote unquote, to put, you know, I came from a solid background, but this family background that he came from was broken. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to, you know, it's like 1 + 1 is 2, but if you make 1 + 1 1.5, you know, like now it's not the same. We didn't come from the exact same upbringing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if that had a part to play in
a lot of the times
us not working out. You know.
And I won't say my parents did not teach me how to be in a marriage. Like there's just so many different aspects and different like flows and ebbs and flows and whatever when it comes to that relationship as far as my parents goes. But for me, I wanted to be kind of the opposite, but also understanding like, yo, like true love, even what you said, like you came from different situations, and I could care less where that person comes from if I'm going to go that far with a person. Because when I say marriage, I mean like that's my own. There's no other marriage.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it twice.
So when I say like come from, like it's almost like it most of the time, because sometimes people can come from something wonderful and then you know be the black sheep and go off, but most of the time, you know, their mental, right? They have, you know, if you see, you know, a positive marriage, and this is again my perspective, then I'm gonna carry those same traits. So you'll see a woman that you can tell a woman, you know, that she came from a solid background. She came from, you know, if you're into religion, she came from a Christian background. So we have the same values. Because the same values, the same morals, then it's easier. You're equally yoked. Then it's easier to gel or fit together the puzzle that someone that doesn't necessarily came.
Ideally. Yeah,
ideally, because you're just making it harder on yourself. If we don't agree, we don't have the same values and morals, then we're making it harder on ourselves to begin with. You know what I mean?
Facts. Did I make it too small? Oh, too big?
No, it's good. Perfect. You know I can't see.
So let's. Is there any other topics that we want to jump in before we get here?
You can go. No,
we're good. So 8 uncomfortable truths that we all need to accept, whether we need to accept it or not.
Boo.
Let's see if I'm going to accept these truths.
And let's not go. So there's definitions per every truth, but let's just go with the titles first. That was one first. So number 1, happiness is where you are now, not where. Wait, what? Fuck. Happiness is where you are now or nowhere at all. That's number 1. If you want to kind of read what that means, don't say anything yet, but I want to have a conversation about these 8.
Makes sense.
Where's 2?
Nowhere to be found. Not that there's not a 2. Oh, here we go. Quitting is for winners.
So this is the definition.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
I like it.
I like that.
I need to live by this uncomfortable truth.
So 3.
You want to read 3, Brittany?
If they really wanted to, they would.
Oh, period.
Facts. We don't even need the definition.
Okay, I don't even need to let.
If you apply pressure, that's a black woman wrote this shit.
She did, okay?
Oh, shit.
She was truthful.
I have to set myself up for failure. She didn't wrote this. If you apply pressure. What's 4? taking no risk is the biggest risk.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree with number one for sure. That's tattooed on me. The failure shit, like that's tattooed on me. What's number 5? Call yourself out.
I need an accountability partner for that. Closure is your choice.
And then 7, and there's 8. Raven.
If you're happy alone, you'll be happier together.
Hey.
I believe that. That's kind of where I am. I'm happy right now with myself. I mean, if you're...
I'd rather be happy by myself than be in a situation.
But if you're unhappy and go into something unhappy, that's not...
You can be unhappy as
yeah,
well.
you're creating a toxic situation.
It's not your job to fix damaged people.
Woo, that's tough. That's tough. That's my struggle out of the 8. I'm always trying to build a nigga instead of build a bear.
Build the bear first, then build the nigga. Bring the nigga to build a bear the first time y'all date. Like, this is what I want you to be. Here you go. Figure it out.
Nah, I'm trying to build that motherfucker. Backfire.
So
no more build a nigga. that should be on there. Number 9.
Not building.
8 uncomfortable truths. I feel like we all agreed. I thought there was going to be more.
I thought there was only build a bear, but
different ideas. I felt like we all agreed with every topic that was said. So I don't really need.
Scroll. Go. Let me see. Go back to like 2.
It was at the end. There we go. Wait,
so quitting is for winners.
I love this one.
So just so the listeners can understand, so that's the title, but then the definition.
Contrary to popular, I can't read.
Contrary to popular opinion, quitting is actually. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Contrary to popular opinion, quitting is for winners. Knowing when to leave or when to quit, change direction, leave a toxic situation, demand more from life, give up on something that isn't working and move on is a very important skill that people need to win at life, and everybody seems to have kind of. But don't quit just because it gets hard. Quit because it sucks. Like the situation sucks, the environment sucks. Like so, I like that. I like the way they worded that. Quitting is for winners. Like you need to know when to bow out gracefully, and do it.
Any
so
other,
I like that.
Any other 8 you guys want to talk about? Because I feel like we were all on the same page.
Number 8 is the hardest for me.
Where is that?
I do have a.
It is not your job to fix damaged people.
Yeah, like I be having a heart, like, and
me too.
I love to speak life into people. You know what I mean? And this is, friendship. I feel like I love big. I love hard. I love my friends hard. I love relationships. That when I'm in relationship with people, and I always want them to be their best version of themselves. So I try to encourage that, and I try to
need to learn
help that.
And I'll even speak to number 8. I think this is also one of the ones that I think that when it comes to, I don't even know if it's therapy, but self-understandings. Like, why do you feel that you're that person? Like what made you that person?
I don't even know when it started.
Was it to because it wasn't forever, right? Like that's not something that you was always doing.
No, I always felt like I did that. Even
do you always feel like you did that? I'm not trying to talk about you, Brittany, is like in particular, but like what does that fulfill for you? Because every single thing that you do in your life makes you feel a way, and it fulfills you. What makes you feel?
I think I get happy when other people are happy.
But why?
Or I'll sacrifice my happiness.
Why?
I don't know. I maybe I need to go to a therapy to figure that out. But I can't pinpoint why.
That's exactly what I'm going to talk to. Is like what makes you that person. You don't become that person just. I think that we've come to a point in reality that like things aren't just as natural as you think they are.
So when I say I've always been that person, I go back to when I was 18. You know, when I met, you know, my ex-husband, and he didn't know who his father was. Like that, I was the one who wanted to encourage you to have a relationship with your father, encourage you to kind of find him, encourage, like, so I've always been trying to, and that goes back to, that's 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So as far back as I can remember, I've always been that person.
A lot of those kind of conversations actually happen well before you're 18, 17.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of movements.
I've dumped a lot. Look, I'm 37. You know, at some point, some of that shit that happened when I was 10 and 11, I done brain dumped that. So I stopped at 18. That's when my memory logs starts. Because I'm too old to be remembering all that stuff. So I don't know if it goes deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Because I done brain dumped a lot of that extra information.
As you should. I mean, as you should in the sense of like, people think that you can hold a lot of things in your mind. Like a lot of information, you come up with a lot of information your whole life.
Right.
So at any point, you should be able to dump things mentally. Whether you can actually express it, that's the point of a therapist. The therapist is supposed to find those doors that you close and give the key away.
I like, shit, so. They gonna have some digging to do. but I cannot pinpoint or put a direct answer on why. But I have, as far back as I know, I've always wanted to, you know, I feel like I see the best in people that they sometimes don't see in themselves. And I try to speak to that. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a way of like, how I look at it now is like me wanting to fix people in the past. Like I don't know why I wanted to play Bob the Builder for some odd reason.
Bob but the now, fucking Builder, Jesus.
Now as I look at it, growing up, I'm like, maybe I came in the reason for something. Maybe it's to give them advice. Maybe it's to like, but not to fix them. But maybe it's to just help them along their way on their mission where they're going. Yeah. So now I'm just like, I'm not
Everyone
fixing anybody.
Wants to be a purpose for something.
I'm tired. Boss is. I'm tired, boss.
Well, maybe that's my purpose.
Everyone wants to be a purpose. Everyone wants to feel that way. Everyone wants to be an empath, though. Because like what happens in my experience is just like, people who feel that way and they feel like they're the bridge that brings that person to another level, they also are lacking that crossover. So a lot of people really want that same feeling, and because they have yet to experience it, they seek to put that in other people's, you know, life. You know, they want to be that bridge that gets them to the next level, knowing that that bridge just hasn't happened for you. What's the saying? There's a saying. It's like, God, what's the fucking saying? There's something that, God, I want to think.
What's the saying? The saying is going to be the title of this podcast if you can figure it out.
God, what is it? It's something about like, I'm gonna have to find. I can't find it now, but I really think it's something about like building yourself up because you're not there. Like I don't know. It's like a balloon thing. Like I don't
know if I know that one.
I don't know. Oh, shit. It's a good analogy to the conversation, but I guess I'll find out later. But is there anything else you guys want to bring up? Am I missing something that you guys can remember?
No, I'm a little uncomfortable since those 8 truths.
There's nothing. I know you had. Jesus, stop crossing the mic, lady.
Is that me?
Yes, it's you.
Nah.
No.
It really is me.
There's nothing else you guys had? Was there did I miss something? I feel like I missed something.
With the 8 truths?
No.
I mean, the only thing, I don't know if Raven wants to dive into it. Last week we talked a little bit about ending long-lasting friendships.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a little sad about that. Honestly, I think if I was, that's you this time.
It was me. That's what you were doing. You was moving your mic.
No, I never did that. I can't recall.
Never did it?
Where's the proof? Where's the receipts? So I don't think if you don't follow me on social media, so you don't really know what's going on. If you do, then you know what's going on. my friend for 20 years, I had a 20-year friendship. Maybe it's less. I don't really know right now. 16 to 20 years friendship, whatever. She stopped talking to me on her birthday. I didn't know she stopped talking to me. I didn't know she blocked me on her birthday. I didn't know she blocked me until I was trying to wish her a happy birthday. And I could not get in contact with her. I even reached out to her fiance because that's my best friend. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to show up to your house, if anything. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? Maybe she's going through something that I just don't know about.
I remember you talking about this a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
So now I'm at the point in my life, if you're not going to bring me peace, or if I'm not bringing you peace, then it is what it is. I did cry for a day. I was a little upset and everything like that. But then I realized, like, if they don't want to be in your life, then they don't want to be in your life. I tried to reach out too. So
y'all are no longer friends since that happened. And you had a conversation with her fiance and found out the root cause of everything, and which it sounded like it was a misunderstanding. But so you don't feel like there's any,
I think
severing that relationship.
Honestly, for me, she's family, so I'm always going to be there for her, even if she reached out to me and was like, man, blah, 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 blah. I'm always gonna be there for her. But if she doesn't want me in her life, I'm not gonna force anything that shouldn't be forced. You know what I mean? Even though I've tried, I reached out. Like I said, I reached out to her fiance to find out what's going on. He told me basically she just didn't feel appreciated. Because on my birthday, like, she wanted to hang out with me, even though she didn't tell me. She just wanted to hang out with just only me.
So I feel like it's a little bit selfish.
I felt that way too. But I really don't know. Like, she was even upset with my other friend because, like, we all went to high school together. She was really upset with my other friend. We all went to middle school and high school together. She was really upset with my other friend because my other friend didn't invite her to a wedding, even though, like, with COVID, there was only, like, limited stuff.
Oh, wow.
Limited seating and stuff like that. And she's like, and she invited someone else that she didn't like. And I was like, and what she told me, the bride told me, she was like, well, I talked to her more than she hasn't really reached out to me. I talked to this other person that I invited more than I talked to her, which makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah. So for me, like, I'm the type of person, if you need to talk to me, and we've always had this understanding with each other, that you can come and reach out to me. Right. But as of right now in my life, where I'm moving forward, I'm about to be 30 this coming up year. So if you don't want to be in my life and you feel like there's not a place in your life for me, then it is what it is. We can go our separate ways. I'm not going to sit here and waste my energy and time and try to make someone want to have me in their life. Yeah. I'm done with that. I'm exhausted with trying to have someone I'm exhausted with someone trying to force someone to be in my life that doesn't want to be there. But like I said, I'll be there for her.
I feel like sometimes people are put in your life for a lifetime, and sometimes people are put in your life for seasons. And sometimes, just like seasons change and, things change, sometimes relationships and, the season's up for some people. Like, everybody doesn't have to go, and sometimes you outgrow people, and that's okay. I think we need to normalize that sometimes you outgrow people, Exactly. It's a part of life. So I agree completely.
And the other thing is, I just don't like the way...
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, and it doesn't have to be any hard feeling. It doesn't have to be, animosity. Sometimes you just grow apart,
Yeah. I just wish, since we have this strong relationship where we were good at communicating with each other, I wish she would have just been like, hey, I just didn't feel comfortable with this and this and that, and I just don't want to continue this friendship. For me, that I would have respected that a lot more than having her block me, because half the time I really don't even know how to block somebody on social media. I
know exactly how to block.
I don't know that I'm blocked. Like, I'm not that friend.
Yeah. I was just homegirl, if you're listening, I was just wishing you happy birthday, and I still have love for you.
Happy belated birthday to homegirl.
Happy birthday. And I was trying to figure out what we're going to do for her birthday. So being blocked, I was a little upset. Of course, I went to her fiance. So I was like, what happened?
You and these noises.
Today, right? She's been on them.
I sound like a pterodactyl.
So what was the original question? Is it like not being friends with somebody?
Cutting ties with
long-lasting friendships.
Yeah.
Or friendships. Just kidding, it wasn't a friendship.
Jesus
but it was a friendship. But
the feeling on that.
Yeah.
Did you experience the same? Have you experienced the same as far as like
just kind of growing apart, which I feel like happens. I had some really close friends that we just grew apart, and it's okay, and like we're still friends on social media, and we don't hang like we would take trips and stuff together, like we were close friends, like ride not my Jamaica friends. We did go to Miami though. And we had some good times. We had some good times. She was actually there for me during some of the hardest moments, right on me coming out of my divorce. Like we were really cool. And she moved and got married and her life changed, and we just kind of grew apart, which is fine. So that's why I feel like sometimes there's just seasons. Some people are in your life for a lifetime. Some people it's seasons. And we're cool. Like I'm gonna love your post. It's not even a thumbs up. I'm gonna heart your shit. Like I don't have no bad blood.
What's the difference between a love and a like on Facebook?
It's so if I love it, like I love it. If I like
as far as the actual action of loving and liking,
it's almost like I'm showing acknowledgement.
Okay.
I'm acknowledging this post. It's a like. If I love it, it's some feeling behind it. That's my personal opinion. Love and a like. You either gonna get a thumbs up. I might. Haha. Haha. It's like haha. I saw it. Keep it moving.
I think as far as that conversation goes, I think that I had our own personal kind of like situation with someone that I was really, really close with, like someone I thought. Because once again, I will. One day I'm going to show you guys how canceled I was once.
Oh yeah, I need to see this.
It was.
I can't believe they canceled you.
It was a tough out. It was really a tough out, and
y'all canceled him too early, y'all.
Early.
He's on his way up.
Too early.
It's up.
Way too early, and it was a situation where like the whole internet was coming at me. And then friends that I personally know was on the side with the internet troll people.
The trolls. Oh, no.
They was in the same comment area. So you had
to cancel them back. Like you canceled in real life. No, that's how I feel. Like people are coming to me that better.
I felt the type of way.
So now I got to cancel you in real life. Like this is not no internet shit no more.
I had mad conversations with multiple people. I'm just like, regardless of whatever I said, right? And you see 2,000 plus comments on this bitch. Right, regardless of what I said.
Did you go viral?
I've been about a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
Nice celebrity.
That's just what it be.
Y'all were sitting on the president of the celebrity.
A local celebrity.
That just be what it be.
Let me get out your presence.
A local celebrity in this motherfucker.
But in that moment, like you see thousands of comments, and it's like you don't know none of these fuckers, but then you see people agreeing with people you don't know. Like they having whole conversations, and then not only having those conversations, they have them, and the people you don't know start liking they shit and getting on their vibe. Like, oh, you right, sis? You was part, yeah, this, and then they're agreeing back, and you just like, the fuck?
That's crazy.
The fuck?
So, what? I know we're gonna talk about this in another time, but what is that like? Do you really go through all the comments? If somebody's being trolled, do you really look at everything that people say?
So, I don't want to, talk my shit, but like I went viral a couple times. Food, conversations, comments, all that stuff is deleted. I don't give a fuck. Fuck all y'all. But
not all of us.
You was a part of it.
You was on the comments.
I don't even know what he talked about. I don't even know what comment.
Originally, like it was food wise. That shit popped off 3-5 million views, all that crazy shit, and afterwards, people started taking what I said for what I say for whatever reason, like people who don't even know who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
I think I showed Robin. I've shown Robin multiple times, like my Snapchat and how everyone's across the nation. Like, you know how you have the map shit. Motherfuckers in Africa, motherfuckers in Cuba. Like, it's all these people every fucking way. And
I had to block this after
I went through every comment. I went through every single fucking comment.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know how to feel. Like I thought I was popping. Like I just thought like, yo, people's love. It was not love. It was like 90% hate, 3% love.
Oh Lord.
Like the whole time, I'm getting DMs, adding all this bullshit that's happening. Like
That's
in
crazy.
the moment. Like literally, I remember going to sleep on a Thursday, waking up on a Friday morning, and we have 3,000 plus friend requests.
So with your friends that jumped on that bandwagon,
A lot of them
did you have to sever ties?
So yeah, that's exactly what I want. I mean, that's a part of to the conversation. Like a lot of them I did walk away from. A lot of them since then have reached out to me and apologized because like that's silly. Like you're my friend. I've known you since we're 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
And you were sitting here commenting, trying to be a part of something that has nothing to do with you. You know, and that happened. I had to sever ties with somebody. It's actually her birthday today. That one of the main people that I really never gonna fuck with ever again.
I was gonna give her a shout out, but we don't want to do that. No, she don't deserve it
at all. Because of some that doesn't make sense
Hope
to me.
she drop her cake.
Me too. I just hope that if you're in a situation, right, and my whole thing was like, yo, all right, if you my friend and I'm getting jumped,
yeah,
if I'm getting my ass kicked,
I will
and
look
you jump
around
in and start jumping me too. The fuck are we friends for?
Yeah, you're not my friend.
You don't have my back.
You're not
well,
my
you
friend.
was wrong. That's perfectly fine. I can say what I want, and you can
have
explain
a
it to
side
me.
Conversation with me.
Call me.
Yeah,
You have my phone number.
Yeah,
You
we
can
need a
call
side
me.
conversation. Not
You can call me.
Even
Christina.
if you agree. Even if you cut that. Cut. Even if you say,
You can call me.
Those 20,000 people were valid. Tell me.
Call me.
Yeah.
Like, you have the ability to reach out to me, and unfortunately, like that particular person did reach out to me, and they was done with. They were so hyped at a level that I couldn't even really explain. As far as like the conversation goes, do you need to? What's up?
My butt hurts. I've been sitting too long. And I don't have a butt, y'all. It's flat.
My vertebrae be hurting.
Raise the stand.
Oh, it's flat. So I just had to readjust.
Same, my vertebrae be hurting.
Lefty righty.
I'm gonna get it together.
But even in that situation, it really just for me, it really was just that. It was like, yo, like all these people are attacking me, all these people on my ass, all these women, all these men, all these dudes, like everything's on my ass right now. Are you gonna join in the fight? I'm getting jumped right now.
That's what you would expect.
And particular people didn't do that. A lot of people, majority, if not all, have apologized since then, except for one person.
Which is her. It's her. Happy birthday to you.
The last thing I even said to that person, I was like, I love you. I just can't be on the same page as that ideal. Like, I can't agree with you in your stance.
Yeah.
You can disagree with me all the fuck you want. You can say, Calvin, my nigga, you was definitely wrong. Calvin, you ain't shit for this.
Yeah,
but if you get on this fucking post and then you sit there and you comment with all the other people who are shitting on me and agree with them, once again, your point is valid.
Yeah.
But if you sit there with everyone who's shitting on me,
Do you feel like you take positive criticism well?
yes, 1,000%. You know how many people shit on me?
They just got shit off the offline.
Okay, so when I receive criticism, it's like at first I'm like but then
I was just trying to see if she felt like it was easier that way. Like if you hear it this way, because I feel like some people
every day, yo. Like, you guys have no idea. It's bad. It's bad. And I don't lash out at people.
Yeah.
I really could get on. I could really get on social
after
media.
seeing your post, I would before we became co-hosts, I'd be like, that ain't true.
I could literally shit on people every day.
But I feel like Calvin purposely shares controversial stuff, but only to start a conversation. Mm-hmm. No?
That's true, but in that moment, it was still true, but I still wanted someone to reach out to me. Like,
okay.
And the thing
Back
is,
then.
even back then, like I think that conversation. I'll tell you exactly what I said. I think that it was just after George Floyd being like killed.
Okay, so it's not too long ago.
Yeah, at all. So I think I don't like talking about this just because people really just don't understand the context of what I'm saying, and that's fine. That's not my job to explain my context, but it was kind of like a thought process of like, and it had nothing to do with the George Floyd and all that stuff. I just think the country was just at a kind of standstill with how they felt about anything you said. Yeah. Right. So, if I can remember correctly, I think I said something along the lines of, I wish black women would come for us like we are here for them.
Oh, I remember that post.
Did I
actually? I
Maybe you would have been one of the
I don't think I talked bad though. But I think that I may have said something along the lines that I feel like black women do. If I did. I don't even know if I said it or if I thought
it. Even the craziest thing in the world is the first comment, someone hit me right away. Someone I fuck with hit me right away on the comments. And I was like, I'm only talking about my timeline. I said something along the lines of like, damn, it's crazy that after all this shit happened with George Floyd and stuff like that, women are sitting here just going crazy what black man love, black male love.
So I do remember that.
You know what I mean? Like that's
so it's not on your page no more? You hit it?
It might exist still.
I'm gonna find it.
You probably hit it.
I have nothing else to do.
It's probably hidden. It's probably not on his page.
It might still exist because I remember
commenting on it.
I stood on my stance.
I don't know if I commented, but I definitely remember the post.
I stood on my stance because I wasn't talking about overall. I said clearly, I wish that the women who don't post about black men every single day,
because I love my black men. I post about my black men. Yeah,
that's who kicked my ass. Like they was like, I post this every day. I'm doing this every day.
And you weren't talking to them.
I wasn't talking to them. I was talking about the women. I'm talking about the women who sit here and shit on niggas every fucking day. And now that George Floyd passed away,
now they want to comment.
Mad black man, like we support them, we love them, hugs, kisses. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
That was lost in the sauce.
So the message, it was people received it how they interpreted it, not what you said.
They interpreted it personally to their personal experience.
Their interpretation.
And I promise you, I gave them context. I gave every context.
I feel like if anybody of those that commented on Calvin's post is listening, I feel like
I had a whole PR thing. Like that was what was worse. Like the fact that I had to go through my friends that commented and shitted on me and be like, yo, I'm not fucking with you no more. I'm not doing this with you no more. Like fuck all these ties. Fuck all that.
Yeah.
And once again, actually every single person that was really fucking with me, even at that time, even now, I apologized because they saw what I was saying. Like I was not trying to shit on no black woman. I'm the last person to do that.
Yeah.
And I think Raven, you saw it. You know why you saw it? Because I was at work and I brought that shit. Me and Sierra, Crystal, and you. I was like, yo, they is kicking my ass this morning at 7 a.m. I was like, I woke up in the morning.
I remember that.
Death threats. People saying that I'm the reason black men are never gonna respect black women. Like black women never will like black men like me. Like I was Kevin Samuels for some reason. Like I was Kim early, and I was just like, I didn't say all that.
Yeah,
they kicked my ass that morning. I was distraught. I was tired. I was upset. I was just like,
that's tough. Because
damn.
That upsets me when people
take it out of context.
Yeah, take it out of context. This is what it said, but you read this. That is not your fault.
My problem with social media and the algorithms, that's why I've stopped expressing myself. That's one of the main reasons I was like, let's push this podcast. Let me just talk. Let me tell you how I feel instead of post it. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons is, as far as the algorithm goes, is like they don't see the original post. They see the comments. So you're on Facebook, whatever, and you're not gonna see the post. You're gonna see who commented and what they said. And if you agree with what they said when they commented, that's when you're gonna shoot.
Yeah.
That shit was tough. That shit was annoying and tough.
I bet.
Like every single day, and I'm getting tagged and shit. Like, you was a white supremacist. You don't like black women.
What?
Black women don't trust you. Like, you this and this. You just trying to create a podcast because you ain't shit. Like, it was so much to the point where I was just like, all right, cool.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Y'all so right. Y'all are so right. Then I'm cool.
Because guess what? In 48 hours, they're going to be attacking somebody else. They're going to be on somebody else's post. And
social media is vicious.
They
can
kick
be.
my ass.
You were thrown to the wolves.
It can be.
I'm telling you, I got into work. I was like, see, I'm tired.
It only took me like one time to like comment on somebody's post, and this is just probably like on Instagram. Comment on a post, somebody doesn't agree with me, so now we're going back and forth. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going back and forth with somebody that I don't even know? Like, you know, I'm not about to do that. Like, I don't know who at Samsung 72 is. Like, why am I arguing with whatever a TV? Why am I arguing with a TV?
It got to the point where I was looking up this guy's profile because he said something very, very racist to me, and I was like, "What is he? I was like, where does he work at? I'm about to send it to his job."
Yeah, it sucks.
So,
like,
and I've done that too. Like on
people came for me.
Like
like came for my job too.
Like, you know, Georgetown has a.
Oh, PA didn't care.
They didn't care at all. They did not care.
Georgetown has a like a Facebook group, like a Georgetown page or whatever. Some of those people I've gotten into it with racist people in that group, and then I have to realize, like, I don't like to get sucked in. I don't like you to pull
suck me in.
Like,
she's laughing hard because like that's the first place I brought my feelings. Like, I went to work and I was like, why are people shitting on me?
Yeah.
And I was like, see, look at this. And she just scrolled down one time. She was like, you ain't shit. You ain't.
That is
fuck
crazy.
And she was like, it's funny because you love black women.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not funny to me. This is my social media.
Half the CEO and the COO, they don't even get on social media. I had to make her a Twitter account. So, we didn't care.
Oh, that was like the worst feeling in the world.
That's wild.
It was the worst feeling in the universe.
Social media's a bitch.
That'll change what you post.
It'll change people too. It'll change like people's opinions on you and
It's
stuff
a narrative
like
game.
Yeah, I definitely had to. Once I realized a couple times that I got sucked in, and I was like, you know what? I don't even know the person on the. Why am I arguing with somebody that I'll never see, I'll never meet? Like, you're bringing me out of my character. Like, I'm sitting at my cube, mad, going back and forth about some racism shit.
I don't even comment now. I'm scared.
I don't anymore. Like, I've had to ease up because I'm in my little cube at work, boiling for what? You know,
a point that would never get across.
Yes, yeah.
That actually should be the name of the podcast, of the episode.
A point
that would never get across.
There Raven goes.
It's when it only happens when you cross your mic. So like the audio that's in your headphones, if you cross the mic, so if you go to the left, go to the left. You're doing it too slow. There you go. It's game time, guys. Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm tired. I'm annoyed. The whole energy that I felt in those moments.
Sorry. It came back.
The energy and how bad I felt, because I'm just like, yo.
You said you had how many comments? 3,000 comments. I felt some way about having 2 comments.
And it is so crazy, like that happened, and like how quickly it happened. Literally, I went to sleep, woke up, and it was like,
man, these celebrities are got tough skin. You're a celebrity now.
I actually posted at 8 a.m. I had to be work at 10. It was 2 hours. It took 2 hours for that bullshit to happen. It was a tough out.
I would have told them I'm going through something mentally. I can't come in.
What did I say? What was the name of the podcast episode?
Oh, I
just sent it in the group.
Ooh,
a point that will never get across.
A point that would never get across. A point that would never get across. Y'all, it's 10 on the dot.
How you guys want to close out? What's up to you guys?
What's the quotey quote?
Quote.
All right, the quote of the day or the week. Be who you are and say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Dr. Seuss in the house.
Hey.
He's a smart person. Or she. I don't know. Who's Dr. Seuss? Is it a girl or a guy who writes those books?
Who knows? Next time we'll cancel him if we don't figure it out.
Right.
Hey, we don't even know what Dr. Seuss identifies in 2021.
Who knows?
Okay, he might
Who
be
fucking
trans.
knows? Who
Okay.
fucking knows? He had
We
a
love
tie,
you
but who
anyway.
cares?
We love you.
Peace
anyway.
out. Good night.
This is the Can We Talk episode 9. Oh, well, this is the Can We
900.
Talk podcast episode 9,000.
Yeah, 9,000. I like it.
You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you guys for listening. We're out of here.
Peace out and get that point across.
Please.
Signing off.